Today I am going to show you a first grade lesson on primary colors, secondary colors, and neutral colors. We are going to be using our hands to demonstrate our knowledge of color. To get started, my students have a piece of 8.5 by 12-inch paper, and they have a package of twistable crayons. We're going to start with our black twistable crayon, and we are going to twist it up, place one of our hands on the left side of our paper, and very carefully trace it. And then we'll place our other hand on the right side of the paper and very carefully trace it. Now, if my students are having a hard time tracing their opposite hand, they can ask a neighbor to do that for them. Or they can go really, really slow, just like I'm trying to do, staying nice and tight to my hands. I'm going to make that go right off the paper. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to label one of my hands with a P for primary. I'm going to put a circle around it. And I'm going to label the other one of my hands S for secondary. And I'm going to put a circle around it. Then what I'm going to do is take my twistable and use lines to make designs in my hand. So on this finger, I'm going to use curved lines to make a stripe pattern. On this finger, I use a zigzag line. I'm going to use a curve right here. And what I'm doing is creating sections that I'm going to later color in with my primary and secondary colors. So I have some sections on my primary hand. Now I'm going to move over to my secondary hand and do that same thing. This is the hand that I've decided to color with the primary colors. That's why it has P for primary. The three primary colors are yellow, red, and blue. So I'm now going to use my yellow, red, and blue to color in the different sections that I made for myself when I was drawing all those lines. So I'm going to color with the yellow for a little while, and I'll color in a few sections. And then I might switch to the red and color in a few other sections. And then I'll switch to my blue and color in a few more until the whole hand is colored with the three primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. Now that I have finished with my primary hand, I'm going to move on to my secondary hand. Secondary colors are orange, green, and purple or violet. So I'm going to go ahead now and use orange, green, and purple to color in my secondary hand. So I like to start with the purple, and I'll color in a couple of spaces. Then I'll switch to another color and color in a couple of spaces until all of the spaces that I drew in my secondary hand are colored in with purple, orange, and green. Now that I have finished coloring my hand in the secondary colors, I'm going to do neutral colors in the background. So again, I'm going to draw some lines to help me break up different spaces in the background that I can color different colors. So I'm making straight lines, zigzag lines, curved lines. I've made a couple loopy lines. And here I'm going to do maybe like a castle line over on this side, up, down, over, down, up, down, over. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is use the neutral colors, gray, black, browns, whites. And we just have brown and black in our twistables, so I can use brown, black, and white to make my background. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and color in some of these spaces that I've just drawn with my brown or my black, and I will also leave some of them white so that I have a neutral colored background. So now I have used the neutral colors, some black and brown, and even left some spots white in the background. And I have one hand colored in the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, one hand colored in the secondary colors, orange, purple, and green, and my background is neutral with black, white, and brown. This is a first grade lesson on color.